Hey, I just finished watching this movie called An American Crime. You guys probably already seen it. It's old, it's not new. It's on Netflix if you haven't seen it. I don't want to be long-winded, so let me try to sum it up. So, there was some sisters who were left with a family. It was a single mother with like 6 children. They were left with them. They barely knew this family, but the parents had to go work. So they left these kids with this family. The lady was short on money. The dad offered to pay her like $20 a week. So they went to go work and they left the kids. Long story short, the kids were kind of trouble, but there was an older daughter who was like sleeping with somebody, and he was married, and she found out that she was pregnant, and she told one of the sisters that came to stay with them. Well, one night they went out, and one of the sisters caught the lady's daughter in a back alley, with the man like trying to beat her up, rape her. I don't know. He was getting aggressive with her. And the sister came out and said, "Oh, she's pregnant." Now, she decided, or she promised to not tell anybody this, because that's what the girl promised. But when she said it out loud, and the man still rejected her, I guess she got angry and she blamed the sister for it. So when she went home out of emotion, she went home and told her mother, who is a little off her rocker, that, one of the sisters was spreading rumors about her, which was not true. She didn't want her to say anything, but the girl was just trying to help her from being abused in a back alley. When she locked one of the sisters downstairs and started abusing the sister, just for like, I always say, when you be giving people whoopings, it's really not for the person to learn, it's for you. So she was just taking out her frustration on the sister, and she gave the other kids permission to do it too. Now the other sister was still there, but the lady had scared her into never telling or never fighting back by saying, like, if you say something, this could be you. So the sister never spoke up. The kids started doing crazy things to this woman, or this girl, in the basement. They were burning her with cigarettes. And they got trained to see this lady abuse this little girl over, I think they were there for like some weeks. But the first few weeks, the kids were being like fed that it was okay to abuse this girl, and this girl is bad and she needs punishment. So the kids just did what the mother said. They would invite people over after school to come and beat this girl, kick this girl, brand this girl, tie her up, wet her with water. They was just abusing her in the basement. So towards the end of the movie, I guess the woman got caught because the girl passed away. She passed away. So they were on trial, and all the kids were testifying, and they were like, I don't really know why I did it. I don't know why I, abused her. Like, I was just doing what I was told, Everyone kind of fell into place and just did the abuse. They somehow seemed to lock off their empathy and rationalize this as being something that was normal. I would like to think that I wouldn't do something like that, right? But this movie got me to thinking. It got me to thinking. I hear a conversation in the black community all the time, and I always try to address it, and it's always crickets, and nobody ever wants to have this conversation with me. But who's to say that if black people didn't gain power over white people, that we wouldn't do them the same way in slavery? And I know, I'm not supposed to say this, but I can say it. So I'm going to say it. Like, who's to say? Who's to say? I hear it all the time. White people are evil. Look what they did to us. They're evil. Maybe it's just their way of life. Maybe it's just how they've been brought up. And here's the thing. I'm not making any excuses for it. You guys know, what was her name? Jane Elliott. She did the brown eye experiment. And she told the kids that the brown-eyed kids to sit here and the blue-eyed kids to sit here. And she said, you're better than these people. And all of the children acquiesced. I think it was the brown-eyed people she told them that they were better than the blue-eyed people and to treat the blue-eyed people bad. And them kids went in. Them kids was just, I don't want her to be my friend, right? And I was just thinking, that's kind of how the world is now. You have so many autistic people online, so many different people, groups of people online trying to get you to take a look into our lives and get you to see how we've been hurt, and nobody's listening. And not only is nobody listening, everyone's performing, everyone's acting and having fake conversations. Everyone's looking over to see what the next person is doing, to see if they're on the right track. This is like children. Everyone's like children who just do what they see. They don't speak up out of fear of retaliation or not looking cool. Who's to say that black people would have not done the same thing? You just never know. I hear them all the time. If it was us, we would never do that. Like, we would never do that. And then I see it being done. I just think that, and I'm not saying this to make an excuse for anybody. I'm just trying to point out how foolish the discussion of race is. Now, race is important and race is relevant. It's very relevant to how we're socialized and how we're brought up, and if you have privilege or you don't. All of these things are valid and need to be looked at when you're trying to come up with solutions. You know, that's sociology, you know, anthropology, all of that stuff, right? But I'm just posing this question to broaden people's minds and to stop being so righteous over something, frankly, none of us who walk this earth right now have experience. None of us have been in the position where, you know, we have in so many ways. I was about to say none of us have been in a position where we had to choose, to do something bad, even if it went against what we initially thought. But it eventually becomes normal. But we do it all the time in life. We have choices in life all the time. And a lot of the times, through my vantage point, and to see how people treat me and the others around them, a lot of people don't take the high road. A lot of people would be considered evil. You know what I mean? Those children did horrible things. But the in the eyes of Allah, they're going to look at the children and say, well, they were victims. And I'm not saying everybody's a victim and everybody should be excused. That's not what I'm saying. If you do wrong, you need to, suffer the consequences. How do you know you wouldn't have made the same decisions? Just with little old me making videos about autism or whatever, I feel like, it doesn't make a difference. Like, I'm just sharing myself. I'm just showing y'all what it looked like. It don't make no difference. Don't you think the people back then was thinking like that too? Like, hey, look, I'm winning. And I'm already tired. And look, if I say something about this, I'm going to end up hung up to that tree. I just don't want to do it. Maybe it's just that simple. I don't know. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but maybe it's just that simple.